What do you do when you haven't slept in 36 hours, you haven't eaten in at least 12, and you're still waiting for your amphetamines to kick in at 7 o'clock in the morning? Let's kill some rats. Sienna. Oh, it's been a while. Let's actually slap this down a little bit. That's maybe a bit much. We still need to hear when the Gravy Boys show up.
I'll say it again. Things could be a lot worse.
Sure. Right, what haven't we done with Sienna? War Camp. Guessing Hail Scourge was... Oh no, Hail Scourge was on Champion. Oh, that was because I just completed it. Yeah, okay. Oh, we don't want to do Oh, no. I'm not doing Convocation first thing. Fort? Apparently we've never done War Camp. Get myself back into the swing of things with a nice, easy champion mission.
The surge has left the camp at
So the main thing here is just basically keeping myself sane. And that includes, obviously, movement tech. But I spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks just thinking. Thinking for me is always a double-edged sword, because half the time it can lead to spirals, which are almost universally bad. And then half the time it leads to some, like, earth-shattering revelations as to, like, things that I should have thought about until now. Or before now, rather. And I just never really got round to, either because I didn't want to, or because... Mostly because I didn't want to. I'm not going to be making a lot of sense during these less structured, should we say, things. Might need to turn off that blood effect. But in the meantime... Oh, you rude bugger! There is another Packmaster somewhere around here. Or did he get... No, he didn't get killed. Yeah, you're not getting me. Not today, at least. But yeah, it's just... Life is weird, especially when you least expect it to be. Main thing is just try to make sure you keep going, I guess. Like, I've survived a fair bit in my time. Hell, I'm old enough. But, I don't know. Every time something throws me, it's always just like... I feel like I should be beyond it by this point. And maybe that's out. Maybe that's just, like, presumptuous of me. To think, like, oh, no, I should be above this. When, like, no, like, you can't be prepared for everything. You've got to... I guess the issue comes back to something that's been a problem with me for a very long time. Oh, yeah. Pyromancer has a ranged weapon. problem for a lot of time, a lot of my life with me, has been the old thing of being very understanding of other people's problems and failures and things that they struggle with, or faults that they may have, or trying to, at least, and not affording myself the same courtesy. And I'm definitely not perfect. Everybody has, you know, things that they're stronger or weaker at, you know, strengths, weaknesses, everything like that, but I am one of those people who just own worst critic. And some of it's warranted, I would say.
Look at it, sinking away. Folk lived here once upon a time.
Particularly when it comes to being too harsh on myself, to spiraling, self-sabotaging, all that delicious, delicious behaviour that has led me to where I am. I heard you. Yeah, and I heard you too. Where? Okay, so Leech.
It is plain that the Rotbloods feel some kinship with the swamp. Mindful of home fire, 'tis more than that.
Okay, not Leech, Blightstone. How, after all of the... Oh no, it was a Leech. Huh. I was about to say, why after all of this time can I still not tell the difference between those two sound effects? What the... Where is he? Come... No, thank you.
No more rattling.
Part of it might be the ADHD. Trying not to just, like, ignore my own agency in all of the self-criticism and everything like that. But at the same time... trying not to beat myself up about it because, you know, beating yourself up about something doesn't really help anyone a lot of the time. It often doesn't help yourself. Yeah, no. Good try. There is something there, though. There we go. That's... I swear I heard another special somewhere, but maybe not.
Dead strangler. You want a dance?
Oh, I am so... I'm especially rusty with Sienna.
All those years as a battle wizard paid off.
Who knew the trans woman liked playing elf? Ah, well. God, I would not be surviving on Legend with this. Ah, well. But yeah, most days just winds up being Operation Distract Sophie from the pits of her own mind. Usually by playing difficult games. Or, you know, hyper-focusing on hobbies or something like that. But like I said, might be part of the ADHD in terms of, like, really struggling to slow the brain down, I guess. Oh, you sod. But also, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing of needing to, like, I think it is, rather than, like, a... Oh, nope. Right. Oh, you... I need to start aiming that more. Come on, Blighty. Oh no, that was a leech. See, listen to your first instincts, girl.
Healing draft, if needed.
Come on. Somebody pick it up. Wait, do I have... fucking... Oh god, natural bond. Oh... I'm not used to that. I have grown so accustomed to bark skin. Bark skin, my beloved, bailed me out. Oh god. Okay. But yeah, everybody's working through different things. Like, for me, I feel like it's pretty much always going to be personal. In terms of, like, self-image, in terms of... not so much self-discipline as self-motivation.
I see the encampment. Not far to go.
Like, I can happily... I guess happily might not be the right call. But, like... Okay, where are you? That was rude. Okay, no, Chaos Horde. Yeah, getting back used to these tells. I don't want to get too close to that waterfall site either. I don't like pushing out in the open, but if it lets me get a bit of a circle on... Okay, I didn't even hear the Packmaster. One of these days I should really install... Alright. Oh, aim it, Sophie, aim it. Yeah, one of these days I really should install, like, the true solo mod. Because I basically never play with people anyway. Oh, especially not these days. Oh, you little Kruber! What, boss? Boss! Woo! Come on. Let's get some crits. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, still the easiest. Yeah, no. I have lost way too many runs to you. Okay, there was... Blightstormer? Or a Lich? I saw a teleport, didn't hear an audio cue. Anyway. Part of the reason that I'm sort of going back to this is that, I don't know, I find it difficult to, even when I'm playing games that I reserve for being, like... Alright. That I reserve for being complicated enough that I can't really think of anything else. The issue becomes... I struggle to allow myself to enjoy it. Like, the only reason that I've actually kind of allowed myself to sit down and, you know, like, actually play this game for the first time. God knows how long. I actually can't remember the last time I played V2, despite how much I enjoy it. He's going to be teleporting. The way that I tended to describe it to others is that it's less of a lack of self-esteem and more of a like a complete inverse, I guess. Like, where you should have self-esteem, there is instead sort of the equal and opposite for me. Which, I don't know, it's kind of what you can boil down pretty much all of the mental... Well, not all of the mental health issues. There's a lot of stuff that that doesn't strictly cover. But it's the vast majority. Vast majority come down to that. And, yeah, okay, I am not pushing that. I'm not starting to push that thing in the middle of the horde. Okay. Let's get out of there. That is not nice. Okay, got a runner. Which direction? There he is. Yeah, because, you see, that's the thing with not having the... This is the ADHD thing again, just going completely and utterly wild. I guess it doesn't help with, you know, a fast-paced game like... like Vermintide 2. But yeah, true solo generally means that if anybody who's watching this somehow doesn't know, God knows why you'd be watching this, but anyway, true solo is basically where you pretty much do what I'm doing now. You play through a level with no other players, except that would just essentially, I don't even know if it's just called solo, but basically true solo is where all of the oh, that looks like a plague monk? Oh no, berserker. I knew it was one of them. Oh, you bitch! It's where all of the bots, the 3 bots, so in my case it would be Crew Barbarian and Saltspire, all of them are automatically killed off as soon as the level starts, and you just don't summon them back, because... Sorry for knocking the microphone a little bit there. Because one of the best things that the... there are some things that the AI is really good at, and some things that the AI is shockingly terrible at. One thing that the AI is very good at... no. Didn't work. No, I thought I managed to get him. Where is he? Oh, no. Salt Spike. So, case in point, I couldn't see that Blightstormer. However, partially because of the way that I've set up the AI, basically they are really, really good at sniping specials. They don't attack very often, but they also don't miss. Which means that if you can outfit them with basically... Or I think they changed it to have bot loadouts, but it used to be that your bots would use whatever you last had while using that character. Except now I believe there are dedicated loadouts you can give to your bots so that the bots will use that, and you obviously don't have to worry about swapping between things just in order to have... Oh, is that my... No, apparently I can't remember my keybinds even. Anyway. Yeah, they will have whatever loadout you set them up with. So if you set them up with a... generally speaking, you want them to have a ranged option that is single shot but extremely high damage, like a handgun for Kruber or a crossbow for Saltzpyre. If he's playing Zealot, obviously if he's playing Bounty Hunter, then you can kind of do whatever. But the AI also isn't terribly good at... it's okay at self-sustain. I can't remember if the AI gets... I think the AI gets, as in the bots, get buffs to help their survivability. But generally speaking, you want to give them some sort of cleave weapon as their melee weapon. Because since they don't attack very often, you want them to... Or, you know, they obviously don't optimize their attack patterns or anything like that. So generally speaking, you want them to have some sort of cleave so that any attacks they do are much more impactful. I believe, if I remember right, the bots like spamming charged attacks, so maybe some armor-piercing weapons might be okay. But it really depends. Like, you definitely want things that excel at crowd control on melee with the bots. At least from, you know, unless the game has significantly changed and they've updated the AI or whatever, which is very possible because it's been a long time. Then again, I believe most of the updates are focused on Darktide these days. I know it's separate teams, but anyway. But yeah, single shot, high damage, ranged options, and because they don't miss, that will generally mean that when they pull out their ranged option, which they tend to do for specials, especially if you equip them with those high damage single shots, then they will usually pretty reliably take care of any special enemies, you know, any elite storm vermin, pack masters, anything like that, pretty reliably. Again, they really don't tend to miss, because they're, you know, AI. And the downside of them not shooting very often is way reduced, because you don't mind that they're only shooting, you know, a tiny amount of the time, because the things that tend to... there's a couple of things that tend to kill you in this game. At least in my experience. One is a boss that you can't deal with. Generally speaking, if it's a heavily armoured boss, which is quite a lot of them, and you don't have a good way to deal that kind of armour-piercing damage, then, you know, that does tend to be a bit of an issue.
A lovely explosion right in their midst.
Well, it was one of those things.
The other thing tends to be not even the mini-bosses like the Storm Fiend you saw me attack... Oh, goddamn. Not even the Storm Fiend you saw me kill earlier, but generally speaking, if one of them hits at the same time as a horde, or especially a wave of specials or something like that. Oh god, yeah, I don't do much. Unless I do that. Let's do this. Okay. And he's down. Like I said, nice easy champion run. Yeah, it doesn't often tend to be, like, I would say the worst combination you can get is a bad mini-boss. So, I don't know, my weakest seems to be, my knee-jerk reaction is to say Chaos Spawn, but I'm not sure. I think it might be Troll. Just because Troll, I don't know, you get slowed in the vomit, and it's also area denial at the same time. Like, Chaos Spawn's really tanky and deals a lot of damage and is very aggressive, and the attack patterns can be really hard to dodge. Rat Ogre is not a problem. Stormfiend, as you saw, can take a little bit of time, but it's fine. Troll, if I'm having a good day, it's fine. And Chaos Spawn, kind of the same. I put them about equal, because I'm a scrub. But yeah, it's generally one of them combined with like a horde, which obviously, you know, really limits your options in terms of where you can go, in terms of your mobility. If you get, you know, even, you know, nicked ever so slightly, it completely stops you dead, which just means you, especially against a boss, you are literally stop dead. But headshots. Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to stats. Don't chase green circles. Or whatever they are now. Anyway, usually those two together, boss, or mini-boss rather, and a horde, can be rough. It's when you start to combine that with disablers in particular as well. Well, disablers or specifically Blightstormers. So disablers being things like fruit flies. Disablers being things like, you know, Packmaster, Gutter Runner, Lich. Lich really isn't that much of an issue. Packmaster's only an issue, generally speaking, when in the midst of a horde. So if you get that at the same time as a boss, good luck. Unless it's a Stormfiend, because, you know, they'll burn everything else. Helmgart missions on champion as Pyro. Oh, we can do Righteous Stand. Let's get back into Righteous Stand. It's been a while. Let's do the classic. Because apparently we haven't done that as Pyro on champion. Gutter Runners aren't too bad. It's more if you don't notice them amongst all of the chaos of everything else happening. Blightstormers can be really bad. If you don't deal with them, they basically some of your strongest weapons in this game, by far, like you can make up for bad aim, you can make up for bad, you know, early or late dodges, or not so much not blocking, but dodges and blocking are important, but basically positioning. Positioning and knowing where you can go and where you're going to go if a given situation happens, or, you know, or if something bad starts happening, or reacting, or even just knowing that, you know, oh, XYZ has spawned, I need to go to somewhere that's like, or like this, I need to go somewhere that has this particular, you know, geometry so that I can deal with things a little bit easier. You know, maybe a set of stairs, or, you know, something that you can vault over that means that you get a chance to actually stab everything. Or just slows them down, you know, buys you a bit of distance. Getting yourself against a... Where is he? Gutter Runner. See, that's why you don't pre-push when a Gutter Runner's around, because that is very stupid. Aww. Oh, shows how rusty I am. I'm actually going for this chest. Not really worth it, generally speaking. Whoop. Ooh, double. Yeah, positioning, movement, knowing where you can go, knowing where you're going to go. Those are... I would argue those are by far your biggest weapons. Your biggest advantages. You know, it's kind of like TF2, like knowing where the health packs can spawn, or, you know, in TF2 knowing where they do spawn. Knowing where waterfall points are, so that, you know, you're not going to be taken by surprise. And especially, I mean, you know, keeping your head on a swivel, making sure that, you know, one little rat sneaking around the back, especially on harder difficulties, because it only takes one. Oi! Boop. Fine. Knowing where things are likely to spawn, where problematic areas are. Yeah, I knew you were doing that. Oh, he killed the ratling. Okay. And especially, so I guess this has turned from pseudo-therapy into tips for killing rats better with Sophie. Don't listen to my advice, please. You know, figure out what works for you, because God knows I die on this game a lot, and I'm only playing champion. Champion's nice and easy. There's really not much to worry about on champion if you're even somewhat familiar with the maps and enemies and the weapons and the characters and everything like that. Right, this is what I wanted to talk about. Heard that noise? That's a storm fiend. What you need to know is that certain points in the map, like I think it's pretty much this step here, although they tend to be a little bit not variable, but they will be they won't always be in exactly the same place. They will always just tend to be in the same area. And basically, they will either be nothing, which sometimes is good, sometimes you actually don't want that. Yeah, you're the one who's just getting right in the way. Okay, now it's significantly more dangerous. I think he's over here? Yeah, he's some... Yep. Okay. Oh, that's another. He's over there somewhere. There we go. Okay. So yeah, there are certain points in the maps that can either spawn nothing, or they will spawn a boss, a mini-boss. So one of those four again, so, you know...
Ammunition here.
Huh, there's no witch in this game. Huh, that's weird. I guess I never really thought about it before, but, you know, even Darktide, I was going to call it Demontide, even Darktide has, you know, the demon host, but, no, yeah, I never thought about it before, but, this doesn't. I guess the equivalent would maybe be patrols? Okay, so they can go over there. Good to know. Yeah, if you ever want to actually get better at this game and not just listen to a random girl with mental health problems rant, go watch JSAT. JSAT, there are so many cool things that I learned about this game by watching his videos. Incredibly talented player of all of the Tide games. Ooh. That was... yeah. Oop. And has really cool videos on not just, you know, tips and coaching players on how to get their first, you know, champion runs early in the game and then first legend runs and everything like that. And also going through, you know, what are the common pain points of specific levels and all of that good stuff. But also, like, really digging into the actual mechanics. For example, the slot system. In terms of how many enemies can actually be around you at any given time. Which is an absolute game changer. It basically means that, you know, if your back is to a wall, makes sense obviously, but if your back is to a wall, you know, you can't get hit from as many slots. And only, I forget how many slots there can be active around you at a given time, But, you know, even though there are, you know, thousands and thousands of ratties in this game, only a certain number can attack you at a given time. You know, to stop them from just completely overwhelming you. I heard loot rat?
The battle wizard paid off.
I don't think I did.
A difference for me and the lads.
Alright, so we got a potion over there. We've got another bomb. Get the bots to pick that up. Do we have anything else? I don't think so. I never quite figured out the best way to do this, but, you know. You make do with what you've got. But yeah, one of the things that I learned from watching him, from playing myself for a very long time, is things like those trigger points. And just knowing where you are likely to be ambushed by a mini-boss or a... Sorry, I knocked the microphone again. Highly professional, as you can tell. Where is he? Where is he? Okay. Just knowing where you are likely to get some of your biggest pain points, that being mini-bosses or patrols, which can... I don't know, it depends on who you're playing, it depends on what weapons you've got. They can very much be worse, or they can just be basically free. It's really... Oh god, there's going to be plague monks on the way up now, isn't there? Oh, I should have left that. Oh well. Anyway. What do we have? Nothing. Yeah, plague monks. I knew it. Oh, trust me, you would have taken a lot more damage if I didn't do that. Oh, that was nasty. At least it wasn't an overhead. There's definitely, yep, the guys spawning over here. Don't let them get behind you, because especially on higher difficulties, even one enemy slipping behind you is how you end up losing like half of your life in one hit. Yeah, I can't see him though. Whoop. Okay, this oh, it's not for you. 3! Oh, it sent me. Oh god. God, that God, the AI director really wanted me to die there. Anyway, yeah, knowing where those points are is a massive help, because it lets you plan out, you know, if you know that a spot is coming up, you know, a potential spawn point for a boss, or a boss or a patrol or what have you, and you also know that you haven't had a horde anytime soon, you know... Oh, yep, patrol. There you go. Might genuinely be worth holding off and just dealing with the horde, because the word... Okay. Bomb time. Yeah, my teammates would be very angry at me if I was playing, you know, online. I have enough social anxiety without bringing it into my games. Thank you very much.
Your winds are no match for my fires, sorcerer! Another dead gutter runner! Lightstormer's done. Over here.
But yeah, if you haven't had a horde, one of these things, in a hot sec, then yeah, might well be worth, you know, not pushing ahead and accidentally triggering a patrol or a boss, and then also ending up with a wave of specials at the same time, and ending up in, like I said, pretty much the worst situation you can be in this game. God, now I want to play Darktide again. I mean, categorically, I prefer this in terms of I consider Vermintide to be a better game. But that's not necessarily fair just because it... Sorry, I thought I heard a Pack Master. That's not necessarily fair because it is also very much true that this game has been out for far longer than Darktide.
Healing draft!
So, is he? No, he's upstairs. Do we greed? Do we greed? Do we greed? I think we greed.
Doesn't he sound happy?
Oh no, he's long gone. God damn it. Yeah, so I really shouldn't have done that because no, actually, so I shouldn't have done that because this area is another spot where bosses and patrols can spawn. And it's I wouldn't say it's the most common spot in the level. The area where I got that first Storm Fiend is by far the most common place that you will get a boss. Especially if you... Wait! He came back for me! Aww! Ratty. No. Oh god, but nobody actually needs anything. Oh. Ah well. Yeah, I don't know if it's truly random. In terms of, I don't know if certain areas have a weighted element to the spawns. Like I said, I feel like that first breakpoint is very, 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 very common to get a boss at rather than anything else. It's not very common that I've seen... I mean, I've played this game enough. It's not fair to say that it's not common to see a patrol, because the moment that you don't expect it is the moment that you die to it. But... Wait, this is a horde. Why? I literally brought that for this reason. Oh god, my brain is a mess today. Okay, that's just gonna... Yeah. That was just gonna kill off all of the NPCs if I let it. But... Another gutter runner. Yeah, but even though, generally speaking, oh yeah, one of the tome locations down there, by the way. Even though, generally speaking, you want to be moving as fast as possible, because Vermintide is essentially a war of attrition. If you run out of supplies or well, yeah, if you run out of supplies or just generally health before you manage to do all of the objectives, then you die. And one of the best ways to make sure that you do run out of supplies... Sorry, I was just listening for specials there. Is to waste time, essentially. Because the longer that you spend not working towards the mission goal, the more chances for specials and hordes, and mini-bosses aren't on a timer. They can only spawn at those breakpoints. And the same with patrols. Where's he gone? They like spawning on this side, but it's not guaranteed.
Oh, but this will be fun. Set the fuse burning. Straight through the wall. I thought we were aiming for the gate.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you... My aim is awful today. That's... There we go. Yeah. We're going. We're not going through, because that's another spawn point. And the game seems to love giving me trolls in particular right there. Which isn't as bad as that one that I said I shouldn't have done. Because, you know, it's a spawn point. If I had gotten a boss there while I was chasing the loot boy, that would have been very bad. It wouldn't have been awful. But it would have been pretty bad. And it absolutely could have happened, because one of the other mechanics is that if you get a mini-boss spawn, your next... I keep on wanting to call them breakpoints, but your next spawn point, your next potential spawn point for a boss or a patrol will never be a second mini-boss. You can't get two in a row. I can't remember... Oh, I thought I could get that. Don't want to deal with him. Yeah, I cannot remember for the life of me if you also can't get a patrol if you get a boss spawn, but at the very least you can't get two bosses in a row. That is, I believe, always there, and incredibly useful if you do get a boss spawn here. Also, if you do happen to get a troll on one of these ramparts, like the area that I said I shouldn't have pushed, or this area, don't be between the troll and the edge. I mean, that can apply to any mini-boss that can knock you back, but trolls seem to do it especially badly with their, like, really fast arm swipe. Because they will just push you off. And if you get pushed off, it doesn't matter whether you're playing with AI or... oh, no. Okay, no. Now we get to see the Blightstorm. Or maybe it's... Where is he? There we go. That's better. Okay. Woo! Yeah, doorways can be good. Any point that gets them to group up can be really good. However, you have to be really, really careful. Because, if you remember how I mentioned the slot system, there are certain things that can overwrite the slot system. And it's... sorry, I thought I heard that Packmaster again. I couldn't remember if he died or not. There are certain things that can kind of overwrite the slot system. And the main one is enemy density. If enemies get so tightly packed that they start to basically overlap one another and they don't have anywhere else that they can go, then they will start to just completely stack up. And if they do that, then God help you. Because it can be good, because if you have any kind of weapon that cleaves, I mean, even if you don't have a weapon that cleaves, it can still be really good as long as you can attack quickly enough to deal with them. Like the dagger still does pretty good, even if you're not using the charge attacks versus hordes, just because of how quickly... I kind of want to save that barrel for the finale, just because of how quickly it can attack. Head on a swivel for that leech. Where is he? There we go. But yeah, so as you've seen, and as I've said, AI deals really, really well with specials, which tend to be some of the most dangerous things, just because, you know, it doesn't matter if you're really good at combat or anything else. If you get hit by a disabler, then you're out the fight. Nothing you can do. A loot rat? Oh, there was. I've There we go. That's my boy. Yeah, there's still that Blightstormer, which I'm not a big fan of. But we can shove that over there. Use the old faithful spot. And yeah, them dealing with those kind of specials that can just completely ruin your plan by themselves. Oh my god, it's a game changer. However, if you're doing true solo, obviously you don't have that luxury. So suddenly, any one of those become a complete game-ending threat. It becomes either you deal with them immediately, or you just die. For example, the one time that yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a... Oh. What the... Oh, yeah. More than one. Yeah, so I would have just been completely dead there. Oh, I should have saved that for the Plague Monks and... Okay. Then again, they're right near the end. Then again, maybe that's more reason to keep them up. Anyway. Yeah, any one of those could have just been complete and utter... Yep, game over. Thank you for playing. You're dead. Oh yeah, hyperdensity. So, if the density gets so high that that the enemies start to overlap, that's when you start to see, you know, rats clipping into each other and things like that. Then you've got potentially something good, but also something very, very dangerous if you don't have it completely under control. So what happens with hyperdensity is everything overlaps. which is great if you're trying to kill things fast, but I'm sorry, I had to focus there for a second. I think the Packmaster's still alive. There we go. I shouldn't have used that on the Berserker, but oh well. Yeah, great if you're trying to kill a bunch of stuff at once. Because obviously, you know, you can attack as freely as you want, and you can just keep on killing. Especially if you've got a weapon that, again, has a lot of cleave, as in it can go through targets and damage multiple before the damage wears off. However, it can also be a really big problem if... I'm not a big fan of this.
Oh, where have all the gobbles gone? Why have they all run away?
Yeah, there we go. See, I think that even if you get grabbed at this point by... Let's see. Yeah, does work. I mean, obviously, if you went down and you were in true solo, then obviously that would be it. However, doesn't matter. We're all good. Yeah, hyperdensity. You can hit multiple things at once. However, get my devil water ready. That also means that multiple things can also swing at you at once, and it can be very hard to tell when even a single rat amongst the conglomerate. Little rat polycule. Oh god. Anyway, it can be difficult to tell when even one of them is winding up a strike, and if you, let's say, try to block, you know, those incoming strikes, there will be so many coming in at the same time that you will just die. Your block will break, and if you're not prepared to dodge away or something like that, the stun will be enough to just line you up for the next shot, and you're dead. And that's even if you do manage to block it, because if you don't manage to block it and you just get hit by a random strike, again, that hit stun is probably going to be enough to line you up for a second hit, and then a third, and then a fourth. And that's if all 5 of those hits don't happen within, like, half a second. So, yeah, it's risky. It's risky. Unless you've got an AoE weapon, like the Conflag Staff or the Coruscation Staff, Fireball, you know, anything like that. Basically anything except for the staff that I am using. I am not going to lie, I'm basically playing the worst version. Not so much the... yeah, kind of one of the worst versions of Pyromancer that you can. Because Bolt Staff... what the... Oh yeah, I can't even remember when they added this. That's how long ago I played. Bolt Staff basically does the same as that Flaming Head, kind of. Except obviously it's on demand. I love the Conflagration Staff. I truly do. It is one of my favourite weapons in the world. However, I used it so much that I had to kind of ban myself from using it. Because if I didn't, I would have just used that. The Coruscation Staff, really, really, really good. I don't know if they nerfed it since I think I last played it around the time that Necromancer released. And if they haven't nerfed it, then it is absolutely batshit crazy. Especially if you're on Pyromancer or something like that. It can be incredible. It can be truly incredible because you can basically ignore the overcharge. You can really easily get high overcharge to get extra crits on your melee weapon. Anyway. But yeah, if you've got something like the Conflag Staff, then, you know, you get a nice big AoE, and you can just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And even if you've got a small, you know, even if you don't have time to charge it all the way up, it doesn't tend to matter with hyperdensity. Not too much, at least. Because even though the spell, I believe the spell does do more damage if you fully charge it up. Again, it's been so long, I really can't remember. Let's test it, in fact. I believe it does more damage, but basically, even if you can get off a small hit, that basically just means that... Pardon me. That basically just means that you can still stun them. You can still throw them around and completely mess with their plans. But if we fully charge it, then yeah, they're not getting out of that. The only issue with that, if you're doing something that can knock enemies around while hyperdensity is going on, it's the same problem with if a Blightstormer goes through a whole pack of rats and flings them everywhere. All of a sudden, you no longer have a perfect idea of where every single rat is. So all of a sudden, that means that you can get stabbed in the back way more easily because it's really hard to pay attention to that stuff. Which, incidentally, is another reason why bosses are a big problem, even if they're just with hordes, because if a boss takes a big old swing, usually this is anything but the Storm Fiend. This is why the Storm Fiend tends to be one of the easier ones, because if a horde comes along, they will be using a lot of fire attacks, and they will probably deal with a lot of the enemies that would otherwise be splitting your aggro for you. But any other boss, Rat Ogre, does this a lot because a lot of his attacks just fling things everywhere. Troll, not so much. Troll he does do a little bit of flinging, but usually it's more heavy damage, to be honest. And Chaos Spawn is just, like, it's in the name. Everything's chaos anyway. Oh my god, I've been hyperdumping. Hyperdumping? I've been info dumping for the last hour about a game that I haven't played for like a year. No, probably more than that. Probably like 2 years at this point. Oh god. If only my mental health was good enough to get a job. But until then, I'm still here.